Hi folks, Greeno here. Where am I today? Well, I'm a long way from Dorset, let me tell you. I am in Manchester. Now, this is a town fairly dear to my heart. I actually lived up here for a little bit in the 90s. Pretty good time to be living in Manchester that was, let me tell you. Behind me, Pieminister. Now, when you're hungry, a pie, some mash, some gravy, that's gonna do the trick, isn't it? Hopefully. And I think they got a deal on as well if you sign up for their app, which I've just done right now. So we'll take a little look at that when we get inside. So let's head in and get some grub in my belly. I am blooming starving. Right guys, so I've come in and I've been seated. It's not that big in here. I reckon it probably seats about 20, 25 people in here in total. I'm given a menu by a very, very helpful greeter server. And it's got all the list of the different pies and stuff they do on here. So there's a bunch of vegan, vegetarian ones. There's some chicken-based ones. There's a venison one even. And then some traditional kind of beef steaky kind of ones too. They do also have phyllo pies. So you can get a sort of slightly lighter one if that's your vibe, if you don't want the sort of short crust kind of thing. All sorts of sides. I'm just going for mash, but they have got like minty mushy peas and slaw. Who has slaw with a pie? Don't know. And gravy, of course. So there is this lunch deal that I thought I'd noticed outside. I've downloaded the app and I can scan a little QR code, and that means I can get pie, a side and gravy for £10 because it's a lunchtime that I'm here. So that's what I'm going to be doing. We're going to go for the Moulin Rouge pie. So what's involved in that? British beefsteak, dry cured bacon and red wine. Sounds a bit posh, doesn't it? That's going to come with some mash and that's going to come with gravy. Now I think the gravy is actually a sort of vegetarian gravy, so it'll be interesting to see how that tastes. I think it makes it easier for them to do it that way, doesn't it? If you're selling vegetarian and vegan pies, just to have one gravy that goes over everything I think makes sense. I could have had a starter, but the starters are just kind of little picky bites, things like pork scratchings and halloumi bites, that sort of thing. So I don't want to delay the pie, if I'm honest. There are puddings available too, so maybe I'll go for one of them at the end, because like I said, I am a bit peckish. On the back of this menu, a fairly extensive drinks menu. I'm going for a pint. So I'm going to go for the Camden Pale Ale. Pint of that, £5.90. Probably expensive for Manchester. Relatively cheap when you live down south, that's for sure. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy the vibe of this place. I say it's quite nice in here. I like it. They got kind of funky decoration around, some exposed brickwork behind my head there, little pictures, all sort of saying things like "look into our pies," that kind of thing. So yeah, it's quite good fun in here. Quite good fun. Right. Anyway, I'm going to sit back, wait for my beer to turn up, and wait for me pie and mash. Okay then guys, as you can probably see, hiding in the corner of the screen there, we have my beer. Looking forward to this. So we got the Camden Pale Ale. We're a long way from Camden here, aren't we? Expected to get Boddingtons or something. Remember that? There was a big craze for that back in the day, wasn't there? About the time I lived up here, to be honest with you.
Moulin Rouge, mate. Just have to place a little bit warm.
Okay.
That's a great before.
Nice one. Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So as you saw there, just as I was about to try my pint, my lunch has turned up. We'll try that pint first though still, will we? A long time coming. So it'll be quite a funky kind of like stumpy but wider glass, which I quite like. Feels kind of substantial. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Right, let's put that there out of the way. And we'll have a little look at this pie, shall we? Come in for a closer look, eh? So here we go then. Quite a simple presentation. I mean, at the end of the day, it's pie and mash, isn't it? But it looks good. It does look good. Now, obviously, Pieminister is a brand that people are getting more familiar with. You can get their pies in most of the major supermarkets, can't you? They're a little bit more expensive than your pucker pies and whatever, so you're expecting a bit more quality, aren't you? So what I think we're going to do, go in with our knife and fork here. We're going to get this pie opened up before we think about putting any of the gravy on the top there. So Nice crispy pastry there. And if you remember, this is called the Moulin Rouge. This has beef steak in it, it has bacon, and it has red wine. It's a very, very crispy pastry. Oh, inside, look at this. Look at this. Oh, yeah, let's bring that really in close for you to have a look. Can you see that filling in there? Absolutely jam-packed, steaming hot. God, it's got a beautiful... Oh, goodness, I've just steamed my glasses up by getting in too close to it. So what have we got in there? I can see the beef steak. I can smell the bacon. Oh. Little bits of carrot in there too. And that red wine in the gravy. Taste that already. So we're going to just have some filling first, just to get a flavour of that. Really nice, chunky bit of steak there. Don't know if you'll be able to see it, but nice and chunky. Plenty of that gravy on it. It's heavenly. Absolutely heavenly. The beef is nice and soft. Still got a little bit of bite to it. The veggies inside are very, very soft. You expect that in a pie, don't you? Let's try it with the crust as well. Let's give that a little go. See how the crust is. Like I said, it feels nice and crispy. It is. And even though the filling of the pie has quite a strong, pronounced flavour, when you have the crust, even with some of that gravy and whatever on it, you can still taste the crust. It has a good flavour. Oh, yeah. That's yummy. Okay, let's bring it around so you can see a little bit more inside here. How things are looking. We've got this mash now. Now, it's quite a thick mash. It looks nice and smooth. So let's give that a try. It is smooth. It's buttery. I can feel some seasoning in there, some pepper particularly. That is nice mash, actually. It's a little thicker than perhaps some places would serve it. But of course, you're going to have the gravy from the pie, the gravy from the gravy boat too, to go all over it. So let's do that now, shall we? Let's pull you a little bit closer so you can see the consistency of this. There we go. So not the thickest gravy in the world, but that's okay, because like I say, we've got quite thick mash. And we're going to mix it in together as we're going along, aren't we? So let's give that a little try. Quite a light flavoured gravy. You know, like I said, I understand why they're even using one gravy here. They've got vegan pies, they've got chicken pies, whatever. You can't have 5, 6 different gravies on the go at any one given time. The only issue I would say with that is that because it is a lighter one that would match with a vegetable pie or a chicken pie, in my opinion, it doesn't stand up to the flavour of the gravy inside this pie, which is rich and deep and intense. So, yeah, that's the only slight criticism. Maybe they should have one extra separate gravy for the beef pies, perhaps. Let's try it all together, though. A little bit of the pie, a little bit of the mash, a little bit of the gravy. I mean, it's the pie that carries everything, really. It really does. It's so good. So good. Yeah, that pie is delicious. Really, really good. Thank you very much. No, I'm good for now. I might have a pudding after though. You never know. Like I say, the quality of the pie. That's the star of this, and rightly so. It should be, shouldn't it? The pastry, the filling. That richness of the gravy with the red wine in there. And let's not forget the beer to go with it. Works nicely as a combination, that for me. Right, I'm going to crack on through this pie. Like I just told my server. Maybe we'll go for a dessert at the end, shall we? No, I think I'm going to go for the sticky toffee anyway. A sticky toffee with...
does, honestly.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? With ice cream, please. Yeah, great, thank you. So there you go, folks. You've heard. I've experimented with a couple of other desserts recently, haven't I? I had a lemon curd sponge at Delia's place. I had an apple and blackberry crumble, didn't I? When I went for that roast dinner recently. We're back to the sticky toffee again. Gotta be done. Sticky toffee pudding after a pie. Sticks to your ribs a bit, doesn't it? Let's hope it's a good one. Right guys, the sticky toffee pudding has arrived. I've been warned that the plate is warm, so I'm going to go a little bit careful. The nice looking little piece of sticky toffee. Kind of looks like it's obviously pre-made off-site and brought in. No real surprise there. A lot of nice toffee sauce in there though, which looks really kind of glossy. Almost like a big pool of creosote. And a little portion of ice cream there on the side. Decided to go with ice cream rather than custard today. Sometimes it's nice to have that hot-cold contrast, I think, isn't it? Obviously sticky toffee pudding with custard. You get all the custard mixing in too much with the sauce sometimes. So that's the rationale today. We'll get into it. Looks to have a nice consistency. A nice sponge there. Bring you up closer to the camera and dripping it all over the table. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? It does look good. The flavour of it is actually quite nice. But it's clearly, so I mean, it's manufactured off-site and microwaved here on-site. £6.50 for this pudding. Which when you consider the pie and mash has only cost me a tenner, probably seems a little bit strong. But it's not unpleasant. Yeah, it's not the best sticky toffee pudding you're ever going to get, clearly. The sauce itself, though, is really rather good. Very sweet. Very pronounced toffee kind of flavour to it. Actually really yummy. Let's try it with a bit of this ice cream as well. We'll get a bit of everything, shall we? Actually, we'll try the ice cream first by itself. A fairly regular vanilla ice cream. Not the highest quality, not the lowest quality. But here we go. This is where we're going to get the contrast. We're going to get some ice cream, we're going to get the sponge, we're going to get the sauce. That looks pretty good to me. Not something to do if you've got very sensitive teeth. That's for sure. Because you get a little bite of warmth and then you chomp down on the cold bit. So it's yeah, if you've got sensitive teeth, don't do that. But it just kind of play tricks with your mind when you're doing it. And I kind of like that. I do. Right. I'm going to finish this up. We'll get the bill and we'll pop outside and talk about it. Yeah, overall, I'm quite enjoying it. Right guys, I've come outside now. Now, Pieminister is a place, there's a few of them around the country, isn't there? I'm not exactly sure how many in total, but you're probably not too far away from one wherever you live, to be honest with you. I got to say, I quite liked it in there. Had quite a nice vibe to it, very, very friendly staff. Had a really good chat with the waiter there. I got the bill here. Now, me being me, downloaded the app, had the QR code ready, forgot to get it scanned, so I didn't get me discount. But it's only worth a couple of quid anyway, so, you know, not the be-all and end-all. So overall, we had the beer at £5.90. The pie and mash with the gravy was £12. It would have been £10 on the app. And a sticky toffee pudding with ice cream, £6.50. So that came to a total of £24.40. There is a service charge, 10%, £2.44. No problem with that at all. Like I say, the young lad who served me, really friendly, really chatty, really helpful. Absolutely no issue with that whatsoever. So, let's think about the food. Is it the best pie I've ever had? No, but it was a good one. It was a good pie. The gravy, really flavourful, the beef nicely cooked, and the pastry was decent. The mash, yeah, again, fine. Buttery, smooth, obviously made up in advance and microwaved just to go onto this dish though. But, you know, what do you expect? The gravy, to me, that was a slight disappointment. The vegan gravy, yeah, not the best, not the most flavoursome. Could have done with a bit more oomph to it, really. But it kind of moistened things up a little bit, so yeah, not the best, not the worst. The dessert, again, flavour's good, but obviously the sponge was just microwaved, so it didn't have that nice sort of gooey consistency you quite often get with sticky toffee pudding, but the sauce was delicious and the ice cream was fine. So, how do we score it overall? Because it kind of sounds like a mixed bag that way, doesn't it? I'm going to say about 3.8 out of 5. I think that's fair. Like I say, because there are a few little things like the gravy, like the microwaved sticky toffee. I mean, bear in mind, that's £6.50. I've had some really good homemade sticky toffee puddings in the sort of £8-9 range. So, yeah, so that's, you know, you've got to score down a little bit for that. But price, value, service, all perfectly fine. All perfectly fine. So, yeah, 3.8 I think is fair. Well then guys, if you've enjoyed this video of me looking at Pieminister here we're kind of heading into the northern quarter here in Manchester. Don't forget, click a thumbs up on it for me, it does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you've enjoyed this video, why not take a little look through the vault, see what else you might enjoy. Subscribe to the channel, ding your bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Right then, so where to next? Somewhere else in Manchester. I am mad for it. I'll see you then.